Okay, we are online now. Dear audience, please do turn off your microphone, please. Assalamualaikum and good morning to our distinguished panels from Malaysia and Indonesia, fellow lecturers, students, and everyone in today's webinar. My name is Muhammad Roswadi Mazin, and I will be moderating the fourth session for the international collaboration on academic activities between the Department of Town and Regional Planning, University Technology Mara, UiTM Perak Branch, Sri Iskandar Campus, Malaysia, and the Architecture Study Program, Asia University, UNISA, Yogyakarta, Indonesia. After the session of webinar, I would like to welcome back everyone once again and hope that you and your families are in good health. As we all know, we had a very good sharing of the information during our last session. And today, we're supposed to have 4 panels, but instead only 3 panels due to emergency case. For one of the panel, GS Dr. Nurhisha Matsaman for topic on planners and architects, sustainable development and social well-being. However, before we start the session, allow me to address the format for this session. We have 3 speakers, which 2 of them are from UiTM Perak and 1 from UNISA. After the speakers from UiTM Perak have presented, a speaker from UNISA will then present. Please be reminded that each presenter is allocated 15 minutes only per session. At the end of the session, we will open for Q&A. Please also note that you may also ask questions during the presentation. And for those who want to post questions, please do so via our YouTube live streaming platform. Again, YouTube live streaming platform. However, please take note that the question posed shall be delivered to speakers' attention only at the end of the session. Without further ado, let us now begin our webinar session today. Before we start, allow me to introduce our very first speaker, TS Dr. Kushari Rashid. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Kushari.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
A senior lecturer in the Department of Town and Regional Planning, UiTM Perak, who has a PhD in Urban Planning 2015 from Queensland University of Technology, Brisbane, Australia. His area of specialization is on sustainable development, visualization technology, transportation planning and tools, age-friendly city, and master plan design. Let us now be welcome to TS Dr. Kushari Rashid with his topic for today, framework and strategies for developing city for aging population. So you may start, Doctor.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and thank you very much, our moderator. I hope everybody can hear me clearly. So, first of all, I would like to thank everybody, the organizer for this morning session, for inviting me to be one of the speaker. So, without further ado, I will proceed with my presentation. I hope everybody can see my slide. Okay, so in general, just before we proceed with this sharing session, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Kushairi Rashid, and I'm currently the senior lecturer. And if let's say you have any question regarding the topic that I present today, you may forward me an email, send me an email to the email that is available under the slide. Okay, so it's actually the topic is based on a study that we conducted. Early this year, we received, last year in 2019, me and my team received a grant from the Institute of Survey Malaysia. So this grants, the intention of this grant is to come up with a research on age-friendly cities. So the final product of the research is actually to come out with a framework and features for developing city for aging population. Okay, now we move to our first slide. In general, my presentation will be based on these 5 topics. The first, I will explain about why the necessity to conduct the aging population studies, and then what are the key components of aging. And then I will proceed later by explaining what are the related approach in terms of application of aging population and aging in developing aging cities. And then the most critical elements of this presentation will be based on explanation on what will be the age-friendly city framework and what are the features of the age-friendly city framework. Okay, it's quite long. Just a brief background on why aging population is an alarming issue for us. For example, if we can see that from the past century, and then the 30 years ahead, we can see that the numbers of aging populations is going to be double. If let's say we have in 2030, our median age for every median age population is 30 years old. However, as we move towards 2015, the number will grow to 40 years, which is almost 10 years older. Okay, and then in terms of if we focus this issue in Malaysia, we can see that Malaysia are actually moving toward aging nation, whereby in 2035, it is expected that 15% of our population will be older people. And then the most alarming part is that 50% of this 50% will be residing in the urban areas. So and then the question is, what contribute to this situation? In general, there's 2 main components that contributes to the aging nation, whereby we can see that from the 1970 to 2015, we can see that the dramatic decrease in terms of birth rates, and then as well as the fertility rates already decreased from 4.9 to 2.0 in the 2015. So why this is so alarming? And then the question is, why is this a big issue? Because in general, our active age population will be reduced significantly within 20 years of time. Then this will have a great influence on the productivity and the economic growth of the nation. Okay, and then we move towards the second components of my presentation is how we define aging. There are a lot of terminology or components that being used. So in general, aging normally relates with years, age. Okay, there are a lot of cut-off point being used, but the World Health Organization are using 60 years as considered as an older people. However, there's certain countries, especially in Malaysia, there's certain literature that find that 65 years is considered as old people. Okay, so and then there are other conception of aging, not only by years, but there also conception that is based on mental capabilities of physical alteration, meaning that as we grow old, even though we have a younger age, as if we are not capable to do as based on our age, is also considered as old people. And then social characteristic, economic status, and psychological changes. So these are all the components. But normally, as I mentioned, we only focus on the age. Okay, what are the approaches? So due to this issue, there are a lot of approaches that have emerged, especially at the global level. In 2015, the United Nations have come up with a Sustainable Development Goal, whereby in the Sustainable Development Goal, there are 17 goals in all being developed to make sure that we are living in a sustainable environment. And of these 17 goals, 7 are related with aging population. I just want to pick one. For example, SDG number 1 is to eradicate poverty. So we can see that you can say older people, as we grow old, our income is reducing. So then there are a lot. We have identified that a lot of members of community which are old, they are categorized as low income. So in order for us to address this, there should be some mechanism and strategies to address the issue of poverty for old people. Old people. Okay, as well as there's a second approach that relates with the SDG, which is called New Urban Agenda. But New Urban Agenda is more focusing on the urban area. There are 11 of it, 11 agenda, and then all this agenda is to create inclusive city without any discrimination. So meaning that the NEU and UA are addressing is encouraging cities all over the world to create a city that is accessible not only for younger generation but as well the older generation, and regardless whether based on their incomes or based on their socio-economic status. These are the two elements. Okay, these are the two elements that we use to as a base in our research. Okay, so then it's come to the most important elements of this presentation is regarding what is age-friendly city framework. In general, okay, the framework was initially developed, but it is under the headline of health aging and active aging in 2002. And then the momentums, as the momentums of the programs are growing, and then it's being being recognized. Okay, in 2010, the World Health Organization have come up with a global age-friendly city book guideline. This guideline is applicable applicable at the city level or any geographical level. So it's quite good actually. This book is quite good because it assists planners and also the developers in order to create an environment that is suitable for age-friendly. Before I go further, I just want to state here, although the terms used in the framework is age-friendly city, and then this means that the city is not only for old generation, but instead it should covers all members of the society regardless of their age. But however, if we go through in details, if we go through the details, we go through the guidelines and and the social and the development strategy, we notice that actually all these components in the books and in the guidelines are actually focusing on elderly, because the elderly or the older people are the most critical segment of the society. They are compared to other segments. They need to be assisted. Then they are more critical in terms of physicals because most of them are not physically active anymore. So they need some intervention for them to be inclusive in the society. Okay, and then in 2008. The issue is being recognized not only at the World Health Organization but at the United Nations, whereby in the 21st century, the issue of aging population is being recognized at the global level. Okay, and then in 2009, they established a network. It's called a Global Age-Friendly Network. You can Google it. So in this network, that lists all the programs that initiated by cities or by communities in order for them to address the issue of aging. So it's quite interesting. This part is quite interesting because planners or local authorities can learn from the initiative that being taken by other cities. Some of them is quite useful, and then we can tap this and apply it in our city. So in general, these are actually the flower pattern is actually the age-friendly city framework, and this framework consists of 8 components, 8 dimensions. They call this dimension housing. The first one will be housing, social participation, respect, social inclusion, civic participation, communication, and up to transportation. So this is in general, this is the main structure of the framework. And if we go through literature, although the dimension is the same, but in terms of the application, especially the features that fit under each dimension will be various. This is This is because we identify that this is because there are social elements, local social elements that been inserted in each dimension to accommodate the needs of the local society. Okay, so meaning that we identify that the dimension for the framework remains at the local level. However, the features should be considered what are the issues and problems that's happening on the ground. Okay, so then this is an example of the age-friendly city that apply in certain countries. But at the Malaysian level, as I mentioned, if we go through the WHO Global Network for Aging Cities and Communities, identify that there are 2 cities in Malaysia that is listed in this global network. One will be Taiping, the second one is Ipoh, and both of them in Perak. So it's quite, and then Taiping is actually the first city in Malaysia that is recognized as an age-friendly city. Okay, so wherever you have ample time after the PKP, you can always go to Taiping and enjoy the space that available in Taiping. You can see that it's really accommodating. Okay, these are actually our finding that based on the research that we conducted. In general, the framework consists of 8 dimensions, and whereby in each dimension have certain features to address the dimension above. Okay, I just move forward because I have a lot of things to share, but we have a limited time. Okay, for the first dimension is building an outdoor space. Okay, in order for us to come up with a space or building that is suitable for all the people, we need to make sure that the building have safety features and facilities that are able to accommodate elderly people. From the survey, I have to mention here, we have a list of quite a list of features. Okay, however, from our study, we identify that these 2 elements, these 2 features are the most critical in Malaysia, which is the business premises should be equipped with railing and non-slippery surface. And as we grow old, we have to realize that we will be using toilet more frequent. So your toilet should be made available in all buildings, and the distribution should be located at the bottom floor. And then the design of the toilet should be well maintained, and the design should consider the universal design elements. Okay, and then the second dimension will be transportation. Okay, why is it so important for transportation? Because transportation able to bring us access to certain destination, which is very important for us. For example, hospital, public parks, and shopping center. And for aging population, they are highly relies on public transportation, because when we grow old, we are not able to drive anymore or ride motorcycle to access this area, especially in the city. So we are more reliant to public transportation. And for those who have the capabilities to drive, we need to make sure that the road is safe for them. The road should be well maintained without any lubang-lubang, and as well is quite visible with a proper lighting. And this is what is lacking in Malaysia, a trained public transportation staff. This is to make sure that the public it is easy for the older people to get in and exit their vehicles. There are some cases that we identify that the older people just reach into the public vehicles, and then the bus start moving. You see what happened is that the consequences is that the older people fell off. Okay, so it's quite dangerous for them. Okay, and the third component will be housing. Housing is more demanding. It's quite very critical issue, because as we grow old, our income is very limited. Then we need to have a proper housing system that accommodate, that able to bring people to live independently. Okay, as we grow old, we have to notice we don't prefer to live with our children or our relatives. We prefer to live in our home independently. So this element, okay, especially in Asian culture, it's quite a big taboo to send our parents to the nursing home. So we sometimes, although we go to work, the parents will be staying at home. So we need to make sure that the environment is quite safe. The local authority should impose the age-friendly design, and then to provide affordable housing. Okay, and just either for them to purchase or to rent. So there are some cases, especially in Kuala Lumpur and the major city, we can find gelandangan or poor people that living that live by the street because they don't afford to buy or to rent a house. Okay, and then this should be considered seriously by the local authority, is to provide market that offer more housing option. For example, they need to provide more retirement village housing, private housing, nursing home, private nursing homes and whatnot, just to accommodate the needs of the growing numbers of older people. The fourth dimension is sufficient access. So as we grow old, we still want them, the old generation, to be inclusive in the society. We don't want them to be put aside. So we need to, in order for them to be inclusive in the society, we need to provide access, a good access, and then to activities that located within the close area, in the close necessity. Okay, so some of the activities is conducted at the residential areas only, but we then this activity should be give them privilege. For example, example of privilege is to give some discount for them if they attend the programs. Okay, I just want to skip because my time is almost over. Okay, the fourth dimension is to be inclusive. Most of the elderly are wise person. They have wisdom. They have lots of experience. However, some of us, but in certain situations, their opinions, their wisdom are not being considered. So we need to bring them forward in decision making. Especially in planning, they need to bring forward in the decision making for a development, for example, so that their opinions, their needs are being considered. And one of the critical elements in this dimension is to stop stereotyping and ageism. We normally portray older people as a weak people that is low income, people are not capable to be physically active. That is portrayed on our billboard and whatnot. So we need to stop them. We need to portray them so that they are as a very important components in the society, so that this will be able to prevent issues like ragut, theft, or criminals activity in the neighborhood. Okay, civic participation, we need to encourage them. We need to have recruitment services, training programs to staff, so that the staff are well trained to conduct volunteerism activities, and local authorities should encourage volunteer program for older people to be conducted in the city area. The seventh component is communication. As I mentioned, older people prefer to live alone by themselves. So then there are some cases, there are a lot of cases that being highlighted in the newspaper, in the news, whereby there's older people that died alone because there's a lot there are lacking of tools, emergency tools, they're able to alert the authorities if they have emergency cases. So this is we need to come out with a mechanism whereby emergency service able to reach the older people resident area within a click of button. We need to develop more apps, more information, and more tools, so that all the information about when they have some critical the older people in this critical situation, they can alarm the closest relative or the closest authorities. Okay, last will be community support and health service. This is more on the community base. The community should be more should provide more health services that such as counseling, the home health checkups, and then during the critical situation, flood example, the supplies of like food, water essentials should be accessible to the older generation or older people that live alone. So this is to make sure that they feel safe in their own living environment. Okay, but this is crime. It's a very it's alarming issue. Whereby last night I heard about this. There's a old couple being harassed. Okay, not being harassed, but their home they are being robbed at their home. So and then the one of them died. So we need to have a mechanism so that they are feel safe in their neighborhood. Okay, as a conclusion, the framework that